come out to tell Buhari and Tinubu that they will do what Buhari planned to do to Jonathan in 2014/2015. And this group are very serious. The whole country is on fire, no peace. Ever since this election was concluded on the 25th of February, there hasn't been any peace because of the way APC and Tinubu stole the mandate from Peter Obi. I'm not sure that APC and Tinubu can handle the chaos that will happen if they fail to return this mandate. I'd like you to watch this video and see for yourself what this group plan to do to Tinubu.
2023 for their presidential candidate, for the presidential candidate of their choice. We ask everybody from the north, south, east, and west of Nigeria to come out on the streets to register their grievances on the rejection of the presidential election result announced by INEC against the wish of the Nigerian people. Just to remind Nigerians and the international community that in 2011 and 2015, President Buhari and the APC promised to form a parallel government on May 29 if the mandate of Nigerians were not transmitted to them as winners of the said elections and the walls of Nigeria did not fall as a nation. Buhari went ahead to say the blood of the baboons will do whatever, and the DSS did not ask him why.
Comment. That was a very familiar
comment. We therefore call on the Nigerian people and the international community to note that we as citizens of Nigeria who voted on the presidential election day shall also form a parallel government come May 29, 2023 if the mandate of the people is not reviewed by INEC and President Buhari as the Electoral Act provides in regards to the usage of the voting results as presented by the beavers machines on election day. Meaning that we, the Nigerian people, shall not recognize the APC drug leader, Ahmed Bola Tinubu, as our president, and this is because the election that presented him as president-elect was filled with election irregularities and discrepancies that the world have seen as the highest in any election on earth. Even as the Court of Appeal gets ready to hear the cases presented to it by the Labour Party, NNPP, and the PDP against INEC and the APC, President Muhammadu Buhari and INEC Chairman Mahmoud Yakubu still have 49 days to clear their names as enemies of our democracy. This government must do the needful by obeying the laws of the Electoral Act in all its ramifications. Fellow Nigerians, we'd like to let you know that if you continue to sit at home in your comfort zones, the liberty that comes with a true democracy and the integrity of good governance will never be given the opportunity to influence any positive change in our politics and economy. Your presence at every protest will go a long way to buttress the image of a genuine fight for the democracy that will rebirth a nation of our dreams. It is very positive to note that this present government, chaired by President Muhammadu Buhari and the APC leadership, is reckless in indebting Nigeria by the continued borrowing of funds from foreign organizations at last minute of handing over power to a new administration. It is therefore a criminal act to borrow monies at the last hour of handover to another government. It is not acceptable, it is fraudulent in action, and we totally reject any more borrowing from this outgoing Buhari administration. Meanwhile, the ones you borrowed in the past have been stolen into personal pockets, and nothing have been done to investigate the biggest looting witnessed in this regime so far. For us, in the Vote Must Count international initiative, the Buhari administration is the most electoral violated administration coupled with disrespect for the rule of law in the history of Nigeria. This government is corrupt and is labeled as a chronic supporter of the abuse of office by its appointees over the years. Gentlemen of the press, it is very clear that the Buhari APC-led government has just 50 days to leave office, and it has surely left us much more divided as a country than any administration in history. We call on the next administration to be declared by the judiciary after the 2023 presidential litigation to swing into action by creating a national reconciliation agency that will help heal the wounds meted on Nigerians by Buhari, APC, and INEC put together as a political gang of electoral crooks. It is very clear that since 2015, Nigeria entered the hands of some unfortunate political confusionists that have shown no clue on how to navigate a positive direction for the democracy of the nation, thereby putting the country under pressure at every point in time. On this note, it should also be noticed that our politics have suffered a serious spill in the areas of governance, thereby not demonstrating.
Gentlemen of the press and Nigerians, I'm Honorable Lucky Obian, the President of African Emancipation Movement for Good Governance, in accordance with the Vote Must Count initiative. Like you all know, this is the 6th series of our meeting since after the presidential election on the 25th. Let me begin by lending our voice along with Bishop Matthew Hassan Kuka, who during the weekend actually tried to remind the judiciary, the Supreme Court to be precise, about how travesty of justice turned nations into the dustbins of judgment. He tried to remind the Supreme Court that they should remain apolitical, neutral during the presidential litigation.
Exactly.
And it is on that premise we are also anchoring our demand that the Supreme Court should, as a matter of